निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरं श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much once again for coming to today morning Srimad Bhagavatam discussion. And today we are going to begin our discussion with the first canto, 4th chapter, shloka number 10. So we saw the various reasons for which the sages are requesting Suta Goswami to speak Srimad Bhagavatam. They are all very excited to know what inspired this Bhagavatam. They are all very interested to know how come Shukadev Goswami is sitting at one place and giving the katha. He's a traveling preacher. He only stays in a place till the time the grihastha milks a cow. Once that is done, katha is over, he takes the milk, he goes ahead. And Parikshit Maharaj, well, such a great soul whom Krishna had protected in the womb of his mother. What happened to him? Why did he have to face such an impending death? We want to know more details. So this is how the discussion is initiated. Now we are going ahead with 1, 4, 10. So let us begin reciting this verse and let us see how far Krishna allows us to go. Sa samrat kasya vahetuho pandunam manavardhanah prayopavishto gangayam anadritya shriyam. Sa samrat kasya vahetuho pandunam manavardhanah prayopavishto gangayam anadritya shriyam. Yes, Nishu Prabhu, please start.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Sa samrat kasya vahito pandunamanavarthanaha prayopavishto gangayam anadritya shriyam.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Aksha Mataji.
सः सम्राट् कस्य वाहेतो पाण्डुनां मानवर्धनः प्रायोपविश्यो गङ्गायाम् अनादृष्ट्याधिराश्रियम्.
Very good. Thank you. Yes, Sachidanand Prabhu.
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु स सम्राट कस्य वा हेतु पाण्डुना मानवर्धन पायोपविष्ट ग्रायम् अनादृत्य अधिराट श्रियम्.
Thank you. Yes, welcome, Meena Mataji. Welcome. Please recite.
Krishna, Prabhu, Hare Krishna devotees at your lotus feet. Sa samrat kasya vahetu pandunam manavardhana prayo pavishto gangayam anadrityadhirat sriyam.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let's see some Anvaya. Sa, he, Samrat. So Samrat is the emperor. Rat means a ruler. A king is called a rat. And Samrat, this word sam, just as even in English, sam means total, right? So sam means samasta rupena rat. He's the emperor. He is the ruler of the entire world. Kasyava hetu, what was the purpose? Pandunam Manavardhana. This Samrat is Pandunam Manavardhana. Man means respect. Vardhan means to increase. Who enriched the fame and respect of his family. Whose family? Pandunam, of the Pandavas. Why? Kasyava hetu. What was the reason? Praya upavishta. This person was doing upavas. He was sitting and fasting Gangayam on the banks of Ganges. Anadritya adhirat shriyam. Anadritya means ana-adritya, neglecting or completely disregarding one's adhirat. Adhirat means, of course, now there is Samrat, Adhirat. Adhirat is acquired kingdom. It was the Pandavas who had performed the Ashwamedha Yajnas, who had fought the battle of Kurukshetra and thus become the chief ruler of the whole world. But so this particular glory goes to the Pandavas, Yudhishthir Maharaj and his brothers. But Parikshit Maharaj, he acquired, he inherited that wealth, right? And Shriyam, he also inherited all the opulences that they had made. But Anadritya, he is not interested. Why? He gave up all the interest and he went to sit on the banks of Ganges. Why is this so? He was absolutely not interested. This is some feature that we see in the Bhagavatam regularly. Even if you look at Bharat Maharaj, it is very graphically explained. Again, those who are honoring prasadam or making bhoga for Lord, please forgive me. This is Bhagavatam. Atma Jaya Suta Gara Paschu Dravina Bandhushu Rajye Che Akhile Nityam Viruda Mamatam Juru. This is Parikshit Maharaj, how he gave up his Atma Jaya, his children, his own, he neglected his own body, his wife, Suta, his children, Agara, his various properties, Suta, Dara, Pashu, Dravina, Bandhushu, all his, of course, Pashu here refers to the horses and camels and elephants, which can be translated as a person's BMW, Lamborghini and all these things, his vehicles. He gave up all that, right? Rajyam che avikale nityam, virudam mamatam joho. He gave up his attraction for the kingdom which was unrivaled. There was no rival after the battlefield of Kurukshetra. All the demoniac kings were wiped off. So Parikshit Maharaj had no rivalry. Nobody could challenge him. He was the most, he didn't have to fight any war as such. So this was Parikshit Maharaj's position, right? And Bharat Maharaj, if you see, it is said Jahau, same thing, same shloka, first two lines are same. The third line is Jahau Yoveva Malavat Uttama Shloka Lalasa. So Bharat Maharaj had Uttama Shlok. Who is Uttama Shlok? Uttam means best. Or Uttama also means that which takes you beyond Tamoguna. It's called Uttama. Shloka means poetry. So Uttama Shlok is Krishna, who is glorified in the choice poetry. Lalasa, he had that greed, transcendental greed for attaining Krishna. And out of that greed, what all is Rajyam, etc., his wife, his kingdom, his horses, his camels, his children, his wealth, his opulence, his treasury, all these things, Jahau Yaveva Malavat. Just as one passes tool and does not even turn back to see what is it. Passes tool, flushes and gets out, right? Get out. That is the kind of treatment that is given to the wealth and opulences. That is Bharat Maharaj. So that's the feature in Srimad Bhagavatam. The kings, although they may have a big kingdom, they are detached. Even the great sages, when they would come to the court of the king, the Brahmanas and sages, like Dasharath Maharaj was visited by Vishwamitra Muni. As soon as Vishwamitra Muni came, Dasharath Maharaj donated his whole kingdom to Vishwamitra Muni. He gave him the seat. You are the king. And he sat down. And Vishwamitra accepted it to give some good instructions and then returned it back to the king. Because Brahmanas are also detached, Kshatriyas are also detached. So this is the nature, this is the culture. Okay, we need some devotee who can read the purport. Who would like to read? Yes. Damai Radha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Parikshit, Maharaj Parikshit was the emperor of the world and all the seas and oceans, and he did not have to take the trouble to acquire such a kingdom by his own effort. He inherited it from his grandfathers, Maharaja Yudhishthira and his brothers. Besides that, he was doing well in the administration and was worthy of the good names of his forefathers. Consequently, there was nothing undesirable in his opulence and administration. Then why should he give up all these favorable circumstances and sit down on the banks of the Ganges fasting till death? This is astonishing, and therefore we're all eager to know the cause.
Hare Krishna. This is like people asking an educated brahmachari, Prabhu, you had degree from such a big college, you had a very promising job, a fat salary, you have very, very good prospects in life. Why did you give up all that and join ashram and become like this? People are very interested to know such things. Similarly, Parikshit Maharaj, he had everything. Why did he have to give up everything and go and sit on the banks of Ganges with only a loin cloth? That's it. A kaupin. That's the only position he had to cover the lower body parts. That's it. He had just left everything and he had come. Why? So they were really interested to know this. That's the whole inquiry. This is the interest they have. Fasting till death. Why? Why such a severe situation? What happened? What was the tragedy that happened? Was something tragic that happened in life? And people are also, even when they ask a monk this question, they are expecting what happened. Did they chuck you out of the job? Or did you had a love failure? So the girl left you and went, because of which you got frustrated and took this extreme step. Yes, what happened really? So everyone's interested to know this. Yeah. Let's go to the next verse. नमन्ति यत्पादनिकेतमात्मन शिवाय हानीय धनानि शत्रवः कथं सवीरा श्रियमङ्गदुस्त्यजां युवैषतोत्सरष्टुमहोत्सहाशुभिः. Okay. So what would, now they are just again meditating on Parikshit Maharaj's greatness. Namanti yatpada at Parikshit Maharaj's lotus feet, namanti. They would all come and bow down. Yes. Niketam atmanaha. Niketam atma. Niketam means actually to make a home. They would make his lotus feet as their home. Even we sing, na, Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. What is Sadma? Of course, in Urdu, Sadma means somebody, usko Sadma lag gaya. He got some kind of shock. But what is the meaning of Sadma? Chintamani Prakara Sadmashu Kalpa Vriksha. Again, what is a Sadma? Sadma means a home, a residence. It's the meaning of Sadma. Right? So they made Guru's lotus feet. If you take shelter, if you make a home at Guru's lotus feet, you get bhakti. Right? So similarly, who are these people? Namanti, they would bow down at his lotus feet, and Niketam Atmanash, they used to make their home at his lotus feet. And what they used to get? Shivaya. What is the meaning of Shivaya? Shiva means auspiciousness. As such, Sadashiv expands into Shambhu or Kala Bhairav, who merges with Kali or Prakriti and creates this material world. The creation takes place. And later on, expansion of this Kala Bhairav appears through the eyebrows of Brahma called as Rudra. And of the 11 Rudras, Krishna says Rudranam Shankaras Chasmi, I am Shankara. And this Shankar, when he Jepadala Hilo Shiva, Shivatvalo Meena. So in this bhajan, Ekono Bhajino Prabhu, Tumara Charane, Bhaktivedanta Thakur says that as soon as Shankar accepted the foot wash, the Charanamrit of the Lord on his head, he became Gangadhar, or he got Shivatva. That is when he is called as Shiva. So Shiva means auspiciousness. So they all got welfare, their auspiciousness started. Yes. And what they used to do, who are they? But who are these people, Prabhu, who are bowing down and making home and getting auspiciousness? Shatravaha, his enemies. Can you imagine? His enemies would come and bow down to him. And Haniya Dhanani, they used to bring all wealth as taxes. Please take this. They automatically. Parikshit Maharaj never had to go. Okay, there is a comment. हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी इंग्लिश नहीं आती, कोई बात नहीं. आप अगला सत्र जो है कुछ ही क्षण में प्रारंभ होगा, आधे घंटे के बाद, वो हिंदी सत्र में आकाशवादन कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, एक इंग्लिश होता है, एक हिंदी होता है. अभी इंग्लिश चल रहा है. धन्यवाद. So Parikshit Maharaj we were in this particular place. So Haniya Dhanani, they used to get the wealth, they used to bring the wealth and come. Such was the position of Parikshit Maharaj. He didn't have to go to extort money. Hey, come on, pay me tax. You really want to stay alive? Then give me money. He didn't have to do anything. They themselves would come, and that was his influence, Prabhava. This is the influence that Parikshit Maharaj had. Such a person, Katham Savira Shriyam Anga Dustyajam. We are not able to digest this fact. Oh Anga. Again, we mentioned what is Anga. Anga means oh part of the body. They are calling Suta Goswami as a child. Oh Anga. Oh part of our body. Oh dear. Yes. Katham Savira Shriyam Dustyajam. How, for what reason this personality? Veera, it is not that he is weak. He is a Veera, he is a chivalrous personality. Shriyam Dustyajam, he gave up. He gave up all his opulences in prime of his youth, Yuva. Okay, had he become old, that's okay, but his senses were all youthful. Yuva. And Aishatah Utsrijam Ahosaha Ashubhihi. This is something that is desired by everybody, Aishata. Everyone desires all these things, but he had it, gave it up. Utsrashtum ahosaha ashubhi. That is fine, he gave up all these things. But he even gave up his own life. Ashubhi means one's life. So, oh, they are exclaiming, my God. Utsrashtum saha ashubhi. Along with this, he gave up his life also. We really want to know what happened. Okay, somebody could read the translation for me? Yes, Prabhu.
He was such a great emperor that all his enemies would come and bow down at his feet and surrender all their wealth for their own benefit. He was full of youth and strength and possessed kingly opulences that were difficult to give up. Why did he want to give up everything, including his life?
So they are not able to digest it. It's very difficult. Padaniketam. Padaniketam means they used to become, that's one thing is to make a home there. Second thing is they would become his chappals. They would become his chappal. Which means they would go and put their crown and ask Parikshit Maharaj to keep his feet on that. In fact, in Dwarka, Krishna would do this. In the Sudharma assembly, Krishna would come out from all his 16,108 palaces that he had made for all his queens. All Krishna will come together and they will merge into one Krishna. And this was the great festival. Nityam nirikshamananam yadyapi dvarakaukasam avitripyan hidrishaha shriyodamangam achyutam. So this was a great festival. Nityam nirikshamananam yadyapi dvarakaukasam. So all the Dwarkavasis, there was a festival. Like everybody has office time. Right? There are peak hours, office hours at 7:30 or 8 o'clock, 8:30. Everybody is driving and going to office. No honking. No honking. In India, honking is there. In US, Canada, no honking. And they're all traveling. That's not a festival. It's something tragic. I got all frustrated fellows. They're going to work. And after a while coming back from work, they're even more frustrated. Yeah. Today also we did not get Ananda. That bliss we are looking for, we are not getting. Because they are looking for Krishna. So on the other hand, when Krishna is going to office, he is going to his work, he is going to Sudharma assembly, the assembly of demigods which he brought down to Dwarka. When he would walk on the Rajmarg, the royal road, everybody would come out. That was a grand festival. Lord is going to office. He's going for his work. He's going to do his job. It was such a festival. You see a common man going to his office, it's a frustrating thing. You see Krishna going to work, that is also Madhuram. Ramanam Madhuram, Suptam Madhuram. Yes, everything is Madhuram. Adharam Madhuram. Connected to Krishna, everything is Madhuram. So he's going to office is also Madhuram. Right? So he's going there to the office, workplace, and then Krishna would take down his crown, his helmet, and he would place it at Ugrasena's feet. and you'd bow down. Then Ugrasen would say, okay, take your seat and participate in the meetings of administration, and Krishna would take part like that. So this is how it was. So Parikshit Maharaj was not old, he was young, but he gave up all his wealth and even his life. That's the whole point. Yes. Purport, somebody can read who has not read preferably. Okay. We'll have her Grace Bhakti Sundari Mataji.
Hare Krishna. There was nothing undesirable in his life. He was quite a young man and could enjoy life with power and opulence. So there was no question of retiring from active life. There was no difficulty in collecting the state taxes because he was so powerful and chivalrous that even his enemies would come to him and bow down at his feet and surrender all wealth for their own benefit. Maharaj Parikshit was a pious king. He conquered his enemies and therefore the kingdom was full of prosperity. There was
Sorry. Yes, from here. There was. You're able to see now? Okay. I don't know what happened. Somebody else would like to continue. I'm not able to see you. Okay. Mother Shani.
Hare Krishna for everyone. There was enough milk, grains, and metals, and all the rivers and mountains were full of potency. So, materially, everything was satisfactory. Therefore, there was no question of untimely giving up his kingdom and life. The sages were eager to hear all about this.
Yeah, there are two things. A king is supposed to conquer his 7 subjects. I'll take that section. It's very important for all of us to know. Just to give me 1 minute. I'll say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I remembered this wonderful point. Let's see, I got it almost. Yeah. So king is supposed to conquer these 7 things. Yeah. The first is Mitra. The first principle is Mitra, which means his allies. So regularly meeting with allies, sending them gifts. Yes, having sporting together, giving daughter in marriage, accepting daughter in marriage. These things you keep alliance. That's first things. Because the more the alliances you have, more powerful is the king. So you should have alliances. This is the first thing you should be under control. Second is danda. Danda means the people who are committing adharma, they should be chastised. Anybody committing, people should fear to commit adharma. Because if somebody commits adharma in your kingdom, your king will get 1/6 of the sin. So that is why it's very important for the king to ensure that he is not checking. That's why Parikshit Maharaj would regularly travel around and see, oh, anybody breaking 4 eggs? Everybody breaking 4 eggs. All of them chanting Hare Krishna, he would go and check. In our counselor group, we have something called sadhana card. So Parikshit Maharaj also would check if everyone is filling sadhana card. Because you chant the holy name, you will not commit sins. The sinful tendencies come because we are not chanting attentively and properly. Yeah, so he would ensure that. The third is control over his treasury. Accounts should be pakka. No, nowhere there should be corruption. Like we know the story of Chanakya Pandit. How Chanakya Pandit was there was a visitor who came to meet him. Chanakya Pandit was doing his work very intensely. The visitor knocked the doors. Chanakya Pandit welcomed him. And then he asked a question. Yes, so who do you like to meet? You would like to meet the Brahmana Chanakya or you would like to meet Minister Chanakya? He said, I would like to meet Brahman Chanakya, your personal. So Chanakya Pandit was working under a lamp. he lighted another lamp and he put off this lamp. And he says, okay, how can I serve you? He said, first of all, why did you switch the lamps? He said, this particular lamp is given by it's paid by the government, and this is for doing government work, and this is I do it out of my personal salary. So this is my personal lamp. So this was the level of integrity that people would have when expenditures would be there. So pakka finances, third. Fourth is control of your fort. Yes, Gupta Marga. No enemy should enter into your territories and conquer you, because in case enemy attacks, the citizens would be given rang a bell, all citizens will go inside the court and only the citizens will know the Gupta Marg. Yes, so your fort should be secure. Nobody should know, and your fort should be strong. It should have enough army, it should have enough grains, food stock, so that even if months together you have to stay in the fort, you stay there. Yes. Fifth is control over the citizens and territory. Your lands, your borders are very well protected. Citizens are protected. Sometimes the kings would go for hunting also, because there's some wild animals coming and attacking the king, right? So they would go for hunting to ensure the citizens are protected. Yes. Now so far I have explained 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mitra, Danda, Kosha, Durga, Janapada. The sixth is Amatya. Your ministers should be under control, because they are the closest to the king. If there is any kind of disharmony, these are the first people who will betray the king. Right? So ministers should be very, very much controlled. But above these six things, one is the more first. This is not this I am telling in reverse order. I told everything in reverse order. What is the first thing to be controlled? Is one's own mind and senses. Most important. If a person has control, so Prithumara's section these things come. If a person has controlled his own mind and senses, automatically the other six principles get controlled. They get controlled very easily. Whereas a person doesn't have control over one's own mind and senses, then the other six principles will be very difficult to control. Right? So Prabhupada also said in his letter the same thing, that if a person is performing 16 rounds and chanting following the 4 regular principles, chanting 16 rounds properly, attentively, then the management of temple and centers becomes very easy. Reaching will grow, everything will grow nicely. Yes, so keep the basics proper. Very important. Yeah. This was one thing I wanted to tell. Other all points are covered. And there was no problem. Usually in a kingdom, what all problems happen? Undesirable things. Oh, king becomes old. That was old age was not there. Number 2, opulences went away. Not there. My army strength is bad. That is also not a problem. Yes, collecting taxes is becoming cumbersome from enemies and the citizens. That is also not a problem. Right? So, yeah. And resources, natural resources getting depleted. That is also not a problem. So there was no problem as such. There was no reason. Right? We'll see one more shloka. शिवाय लोकस्य भवाय भूतये य उत्तम श्लोक परायणा जना जीवन्ति नात्मार्थमसौ पराश्रयम् मुमोच निर्विद्य कुतो कलेवरम्. Somebody would like to read? Yashita, Prabhu, go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Those who are devoted to the cause of the personality of Godhead live only for the welfare, development, and happiness of others. They do not live for any selfish interest. So even though the Emperor Parikshit was free from all attachment to worldly possessions, how could he give up his mortal body, which was the shelter for others?
It's a very powerful shloka that comes in the 6th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th chapter, 10th verse. This is a shloka that's spoken by Dadichi Muni. He says, Aho kashtam aho dainyam parakai shanabhangure nyannopakuryad aswarther Martya Swajnati Vigrahi. He says that Aho Kashta, what has this body given you? Number one, Kashtam. It has given you all miseries. There's another name of body. Body is called Klesha. Kleshadda. Sharira is called as Klesha, that which gives miseries. So I got Kashtam. Second, Aho Dainyam. I become humbled in this material body. This material body makes you humbled with so many diseases going out of control. Oh, I did not eat anything which is not good. I did not even go out in the cold weather, but still I got cold. Yes, Dainyam, humbled. We are not the controllers. Parakai, Shanabhangurai. This is actually food for dogs and jackals. That's what this body is meant for. And worms. Very heavy. Shanabhangure, and whatever happiness you're going to get is going to not last long. Shanabhangure. So, Martya Swajnati Vigrahi, anyway this body is going to die. Your body, relative's body, everyone's body is going to die. So, Yanno Pakuryat Aswarthir, why not engage it in Aswarthir, in others' welfare, not just for your Swartha. Yes, and that's how Dadichi Muni gives his bone, and that becomes Indra's Vajra to attack Vritrasura. That comes in that section. So here also we understand that Parikshit Maharaj's body, Shivaya Lokasya. Yes, Shivaya again means auspiciousness of who? Lokasya, for all living entities. Because Praja doesn't only mean the men and women, the human society. Praja meant all the 8.4 million species. So Parikshit Maharaj is the ruler of seas and oceans also. Yes. So all the Jalacharas, the aquatics are also the Praja of Parikshit Maharaj. Bhavaya Bhutaye. Shivaya Lokasya Bhavaya Bhutaye. Here Shivaya and Bhavaya, there are two different things. If you see Bhavaya, it refers to material welfare. Shivaya refers to spiritual welfare. Yes. Ya Uttama Shloka Parayana Jana. So especially one who is, Uttama Shloka is Krishna. That person, Ya means Jo, Vyakti, that person, Uttama Shloka Parayana Jana. Especially those personalities who are surrendered to Uttama Shlok, who is Krishna. Jivanti, they live a life, na Atma Artham. They don't just live for themselves. Na Atma Artham means for one's own self. No, they are not selfish. Na Jivanti. Asau Parashrayam. But they live their life para ashray, to give shelter to others. Yes. Mumocha nirvidya kutam kalivan. How can he give up the body which is shelter for others? Yeah. Sometimes people become very frustrated with life. They say, I just want to give up everything and run away. Oh, you can do that, but you have children to take care of. Yeah, that's the reason I'm not going. Because my children are dependent on me. Happens. Yeah, it happens like that. Yes, that's the only reason I'm here. Otherwise, I would have gone long back. It's so frustrating life. Yes, this is how it is. So how can he not think of others? So, Lokasya Shivaya, how does welfare happen? Yes, material welfare happens in two ways. Bhavaya is reducing material miseries, and Bhutaye means to give material wealth. Both ways, both are important. Artha Pravritti, Anarth Nivritti. Here in this case, Artha Pravritti means giving Artha, they are giving the wealth, material wealth. And Bhavaya means, of course, there's another meaning, because Bhavaya literally means material welfare, but Bhavaya also means, another Acharya says, there's another way of explaining. Bhavaya is to extinguish material life, which means taking care of their spiritual life also. So our material and spiritual life are like two tracks of railway line. Yes, they are the tracks. We have to go parallel. Yeah. So here the devotees help a person in material and spiritual life, both the ways. That's how devotees give shelter. It's mentioned by Acharyas. Correct. Parashrayam, which means to help and serve. That's it. So one should never give something upon which others are dependent. You may be personally detached from your body, but for others' welfare, you have to take care of your body. Okay. Somebody available to read the purport, preferably who has not participated till now in the class. Okay, Priya Mataji, you can read little bit and then Sudhakar Prabhu will also get chance. It's a big purport, both can read little.
Parikshit Maharaja was an ideal king and householder because
What happened? Hare Krishna, can you continue reading?
yes, Prabhuji,
Yeah, okay, fine.
because he was devotee of the personality of Godhead, a devotee of the Lord automatically has all good qualifications, and the emperor was an typical example of this. Personally, he had no attachment for all the wonderful
Worldly opulences.
in this possession, but since he was king for the all around welfare of his citizens, he was always busy in the welfare work. Prabhuji's screen is going on.
Okay, no problem. We will pause. I'll anyway have to explain something. Thank you for reading 3-4 lines, whatever you read. I'll just explain something and then we go ahead with Sudhakar Prabhu. Yeah, the first thing here is mentioned is the moment one becomes a devotee. Yasya asti bhaktir bhagavatya kinchana sarvair gunaistatra samasate suraha harava bhaktasya kuto mahadgunaha manorathena sati dhavato bahi. You become a devotee, automatically you get qualities of demigods and even Krishna's qualities. That's the power of bhakti. Because you're engaging all senses, every senses have sense devata. When devatas see, oh, he's engaging the senses purely in Krishna's service, okay, let's bless him with my qualities. And because of devotee thinks of Krishna always, he gets sarvair gunas tatra samasate sura. He gets the quality of Krishna also. On the other hand, the atheistic people who have no faith in devotional service have no good qualities. Their good qualities is manifestation of Maya. It is there for some time and then again they fall back to Rajagun and Tamagun. That's what happens. So just become a devotee, and there is, even in sadhana bhakti, there are 6. Sadhana bhakti has 2 particular lakshanas, characteristics. The first is kleshagni, second is shubhada. So kleshagni means the miseries of material existence cease to exist for a devotee performing sadhana bhakti. And shubhada means one is blessed with all wonderful qualities. That's one thing. Second, Krishna repeatedly says a devotee means he is sarva bhuta hite rataha. This particular word comes repeatedly in Bhagavatam. Sarva bhuta hite rata. Sarva bhuta hite rata. If you type in the Bhagavad Gita, not Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna, when he glorifies his devotee, he says sarva bhuta hite rataha, which means he is always engaged in sarva bhuta hita, for the welfare of sarva bhuta hita. Sarva bhut means all living entities, rata, and hita means for the welfare. That is why he was there. Yes, Sudhakar Prabhu, you can read from here.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
He would not allow.
Cannot see the screen, Prabhuji.
Now?
Now I can see, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. He would not allow slaughterhouses or killing of the cows. He was not a foolish and partial administrator who would arrange for the protection of one living being and allow others to be killed. Because he was a devotee of the Lord, he knew perfectly well how to conduct his administration for everyone's happiness, men, animals, plants, and all the living creatures. He was not selfishly interested. Selfishness is neither self-centered or self-extend. He was neither. His interest was to please the Supreme Truth, the personality of the Godhead. The king is the representative of the Supreme Lord, and therefore the king's interest must be identical with that of the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord wants all living beings to be obedient to him and thereby become happy. Therefore, the king's interest is to guide all subjects back to the kingdom of the God. Yes, so
Yes, Prabhu. Here.
I'm just saying where I'm. Yeah, okay. Under the administration of a representative king, the kingdom is full of opulence. At that time, human beings need not eat animals. There are ample food grains, milk, fruits, and vegetables, so that the human beings as well as animals can eat sumptuously and to their heart content. If all the living beings are satisfied with food and the shelter and obey the prescribed rules, there cannot be any disturbance between one living being and another. Emperor Parikshit was a worthy king, and therefore all were happy during his reign. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Sudhakar Prabhu. There are 4 points here. 2 points that mention what is the quality of a leader, and 2 points mention what should be the outcome of leadership. That we'll discuss and we'll close today's discussion. There are 2 qualities of leader. The first quality is leader should not be selfish. If a person is selfish, thinking about one's own welfare first, no, leader is one who thinks first about others and last about himself. Such a person is a leader. That is one quality. Second quality is a leader, spiritual leader is that leader who aligns his interest with Lord's interest. What will please Krishna? What will please Guru? What will please Prabhupada? That's a leader. And then what should be the outcome of leadership? Outcome of leadership is 2 things. Number 1, if anybody is asked, so how are you? We are happy. I'm happy. So if the happiness index is more, that's good leadership. And second, you should ask, outcome of leadership is you ask the citizens, what's the goal of your life? They'll say, goal of life is to go back to Godhead. Congratulations. Then that is good leadership. Leader is successful. Okay. And similarly, a speaker is successful, is able to complete the portion before time, which I have done. Hare Krishna. Thank you, dear devotees, for coming. We will have to pause the Bhagavatam discussion here. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samasta Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Gaur Prem.